How's it going, everyone? It's Bomberman Dan. We're back with game number 2 of the Liquid Ret EG HuK best of 3 match. In the first game, we saw Liquid Ret pull off the late game Ling, Roach, Infestor to defeat HuK's Immortal, Blink Stalker, and Gateway Army play. And we saw some very, very good moves by HuK. Great micro. There was a big Ling run by at his third base, and he moved all of his probes against the mineral line so that the Lings could only attack one probe at a time, and only like 1 or 2 Lings could attack it. So very great play there by HuK, only losing a little bit of probes there. Then he should have really lost them all. And we saw Ret just continue to do a number on HuK, being pretty relentless. Went with a Greater Spire, so it looked like it would be going into Broodlords, but he didn't really have it opening too, and decided to just go Ling, Infestor, Roach, and that worked out rather well, with the Lings doing a ton of damage against the Immortals and Stalkers, and the Infestors just fungling and doing a lot of extra damage there, with the Roach just being the main mass of that army. So some very good plays. Ret decided to go with the opening of a spawning pool before hatch, even though HuK went with Forge Fast Expand, which it looks like he's going to do again on this map. The last map was on the last match was on Daybreak, and we are on Antigua Shipyard now. And it looks like in Liquid Ret, in response to HuK's Forge Fast Expand, expanded twice at his natural and went for his third, and turned out to be the right decision, with HuK not being able to put up too much early pressure because of his Forge Fast Expand, and Ret ultimately winning that game. So we see HuK again, putting his Forge probably right down there, and then a wall off with a Gateway. And we saw HuK not walling off with the Cyber Core, deciding to keep it back. Didn't want to lose that right away. And we do have a hatchery right here, and we will see the Overlord coming in to scout. And once he scouts that, we'll see if Ret decides to take his third over here, or decides to just stay on 2 till he can build up an army. Or we'll see if he have any fast pressure. But we do have 2 Lings on the way by Ret. Sort of take some map control again. Definitely take this middle watchtower, because they are on cross spawns, because they have to be on MLG and GSL. This middle watchtower is always very, very helpful, because they basically have to cross it in order to attack you. So it's always a good idea to try to snag that middle watchtower whenever you can, if you have the map control to do it. We do have a pylon here and a photon cannon, rather in the back here, not right up against the wall. And we do have the gateway in the back, so sort of a little bit different than we saw before. But this photon cannon will be able to do a little bit of damage in the front, as well as any Lings that come around the side. So pretty good placement there by HuK, deciding to not keep it too forward, but just try to keep it back in a spot that can also defend this gateway if it needs to. And there goes the third by Liquid Ret, same as last game. And we do have 1 queen on the field, going to be able to do a lot of larva inject, so keep his drone count up, as well as another queen on the way. And we do have a Cyber Core going down in the front this time, so I don't know if that's any importance to HuK, whether or not he puts a Cyber Core in the back or keeps it up in the front, but he is deciding to do it this time, because he could definitely put it in the back here. But I'm not too sure about that. He does have 2 gas at his main, so definitely going to be able to get some Stalker or Sentry play out here early, and we are going for Warp Gate technology at a pretty standard timing for a Forge Fast Expand. So nothing too out of the ordinary quite yet. Liquid Ret's third just finishes up, and we'll be able to continue. We do see a double gas here, so I would not be surprised to see a Roach Warren going down sometime soon, as well as Metabolic Boost, which has not started yet, because we do see 8 Lings on the way, 10 Lings on the way. So maybe some pressure here, 12 Lings on the way, just keep on adding on the Lings. So we might see some pressure here by Liquid Ret to try to close out this game rather quickly, or to just see if he can find a good opening here. But HuK, not having too much of an army, does take the middle watchtower. And we do have this Zealot down here poking around, looking for stuff, and these Lings will be able to take out that Zealot and the Stalker if they decide to, and it looks like this Stalker is going to take some hits, but should be fine as long as Metabolic Boost Yep, just being started now, won't finish, and this Stalker will be able to get home just in time. And we do have 4 gateways going down by HuK, as well as 2 more gateways being added on there, and I like that choice of putting a gateway inside here, just to, you know, kind of more or less check things out, because we won't be seeing any drops or anything really by a Zerg player, and I kind of like that against a Terran player as well, so you can always see if there's a drop coming in, and it kind of eliminates places for them to drop in here, so they basically have to drop outside as well. And Metabolic Boost is almost finishing, and we do have the Roach Warren going down for Liquid Ret, and these gateways are finishing up now, and just in time for their Warp Gate technology. And Ret droning up pretty well, has his main and natural saturated basically, and his third, so kind of good economic lead there for Liquid Ret, but he probably should be. We do see pylons going down here, and a pylon down here with a big warping of Zealots on the high ground. And this is going to be a little bit of trouble for Ret here. He doesn't have too much, and he's going to pull all of his drones back. He's going to say, you know what, it's not worth losing these drones. It's only 300 to replace the hatchery, but to lose all those drones is going to be a big deal. We have a ton more Zealots on the way. HuK realizing, you know what, he's probably going to, in response, make a lot of Lings. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with continuously making Zealots, but there are 11 Roaches on the way, and that will spell some trouble for these Zealots. Oh, but a couple of these Roaches go down here because they were made at this base. So a good little win there for HuK. I'm doing quite a bit of damage against Liquid Ret there. And Ret's going to, you know what, decide to expand right away at this forward expansion, because we are playing on an MLG and GSL map. This is not a high yield, so it's a regular just expansion to go to. And Ret is supply blocked here, and so we see some force fields down there, and not an overcommitment, but a ton of drones attacking, and it looks like he will be able to take this up rather nicely because there are so many drones here, but it looks like a lot of damage is going to be taken by Ret, and HuK's just losing army there, and isn't really losing much of his economy there. And as long as HuK falls back with a decent amount of army, he should be fine. As for workers killed, 32 for HuK, 49 total, so very, very, very nice play there by HuK, doing a ton of damage. And not losing much of his economy by zone, and he does end up scouting this base here, so HuK is going to have to fall back here. It looks like, he's going to decide to attack with some good force fields, keeping a lot of these Roaches from not attacking, and doing a ton, as well as a warp in here from that pylon, and he's going to sandwich these Roaches and actually do a ton of damage, and he's going to force these Roaches to come back, and he's going to have to cancel this hatchery, because there's no way he's going to be able to stop that from going down. And he looks like he's going to keep the hatchery up, and it looks like he's going to try to do some damage, but he should have canceled that, because now he's going to lose that entire hatchery, and HuK is in a very, very nice position, killing Ret's army, killing two of his expansions, and it just looks like Ret is not going to be being able to hold on much longer. Even with all of these Lings on the way by Ret, 14 Lings, HuK has a ton of Zealots here. And HuK just going to check to see if this expansion is up here, and realizes he's not, so HuK's probably feeling that he's in a very good position here, as well as killing some extra overlords there, killing this extractor, so Ret's gonna have a hard time here. And these Lings going straight for HuK's main, you know what, thinks he has his entire army there, and thinks he will be able to do a lot of damage. He does have this overlord here, and these Lings actually might be able to get in here and do a ton of damage, but because of the amount of gateways here, a big warp in of Zealots, or a couple sentries or two, will be able to do a lot of damage here. But it looks like not, and it looks like these Lings are going to go straight for the main, and they're on move command, but these Zealots stop them from moving too much, and the cannon actually gets quite a few hits off, but these Lings won't be able to do too much, doing a couple probe kills here and there, and the probes doing a pretty good, decent amount of damage against them. And we do see a big fallback there by HuK, but HuK's in a very, very good position. He can go for a third here at any point in time and just be completely okay, or he can just continue to build up his army, but HuK's going to lose these 2 pylons here, which will supply block him. Those will need to be replaced. But HuK still in a very good position here. A ton of Zealots and a ton of Stalkers, and we do have a Observer on the way, because we do see Burrow on the way there, and a good call there by HuK. Realized Liquid Ret went with a Burrowed Roach play last game, and did quite a bit of damage there with the Burrowed Roaches, and HuK didn't have any Observers out in time, so this Observer will be very, very beneficial to HuK, especially because Ret, the only thing that he has that can shoot up is these, or are his Queens, so HuK always making these good decisions here that we saw just last game. Even though he was outplayed, we do have Blink Stalker on the way. And again, we see HuK this game keeping a lot of his Zealots out there, which is probably a better play because those Immortals were great against the Roaches. But the Lings are what ended up defeating HuK. And we do have a ton of creep advancement here by Ret. A ton of creep tumors here, trying to take a little map control. And we're going to see a big army clash here. And look what Ret could not see up on the high ground. And a ton of force field stopping it. But he does have a little bit of vision on the high ground, so he will be able to do a lot of damage here. But it looks like Ret is in a bad position. Sandwiching some Roaches in there. It's going to be some easy kills there. And when these Zealots get in there, it's going to do a ton of damage. And it's not looking good for Ret. And there is the GG. So we will be going into a third game of this best of 3 between Ret and EDG HuK. Stay tuned for game number 3.